Blog Talk Radio.
My name is Ronald Reagan. This station daily pierces the Iron Curtain with the truth, answering the lies of the Kremlin and bringing a message of hope to millions trapped behind the Iron Curtain. Grateful letters from listeners smuggled past the secret police express thanks for identifying communist quislings and informers by name.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
Barack Obama ain't taking my shotgun. I got two. If he tries to fool with my Beretta, he's got a problem.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
The zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes, walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. You can listen to the Brian Craig Show all over the place. Go to briancraigshow.com, and all the places that air this podcast are listed there. But if you go to iTunes, you can listen to this episode later today. It'll be up there. And all of our past episodes, about 400 of them on iTunes. We're in other places too, TuneIn Radio, the Stitcher Radio app, and elsewhere. But I always try to direct people to iTunes. Just go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or the TuneIn Radio app and search for The Brian Craig Show, and we'll come right up. And we also stream live video on Periscope. Download Periscope and find us at Brian Craig Show. And you can also see me on the radio on the Steve Kane Show in the mornings on Periscope as well. And when you go to briancraigshow.com, follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. All right, well, Kathy and I still a little under the weather. I'm much better than Kathy. I'm about 98% well. I just can't stop coughing and hacking. And Kathy, she's down the tubes of sickness. But the show must go on. And we're going to talk about a lot of
behind you. I'm a couple days behind you.
Yeah, I've been sleeping on the couch for 2 weeks now. And,
yes.
The other night I told Kathy I've been on, because we're in separate rooms at night because I don't want to be around. We were passing this illness back and forth. I'm trying not to catch it again. And I was like getting lonely. I said, Kathy, I said, what if I come in our room and sleep on the floor because I have no one to talk to. I've been watching, Star Trek: The Next Generation on the couch every night, and the first season of it, which isn't that bad. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of things on this podcast. We're going to start off talking about unindicted rapist President Bill Clinton and his accessory to his sex crimes, Hillary Clinton, who's running for president of the United States. And I got to play this clip for you. Joy Behar is back on The View. I don't watch The View, but sometimes things happen on The View, and they make their way, on the Internet, and people learn about them. Listen to this. This is, Joy Behar, so typical of a you okay? Oh, my gosh, Kathy. Coughing up blood in it. Joy Behar is your stereotypical New York liberal woman. And I'm not going to set this
obnoxious
up.
As hell.
I'm just going to play it for you. And then we'll talk about it after the fact. So the ladies of The View are up there. There was a lot to play, but I'm only going to play this one clip. Raymond Simone, who starred on that rapist television show, The Cosby Show, wasn't Raven Simone on that show?
Raven Simone, yes.
Yeah, Raven Simone. Yeah, did I say Rapist Simone?
Yeah.
Oh no, Rapist is Bill Cosby. Raven Simone during this conversation. I'm not going to play this part for you, but she was applauding Hillary Clinton for staying by her husband through his pregnancy. She meant to say philandering, and she said pregnancy. Oh man, she
is a total moron. She is really stupid.
Yeah,
David,
so
she's
Joy
really
Behar,
dumb.
Though, I'm going to play this part with Joy Behar, your stereotypical New York liberal woman. And she stands by Bill Clinton and also another Democrat. Listen to this.
Find ways to bring her down. People have to understand it's policy. Teddy Kennedy, remember Chappaquiddick? Am I the oldest person in the room?
I remember that.
Chappaquiddick. A girl drowned and he abandons her and he drowned. And women still voted for Teddy Kennedy. Why? True. Because he voted for women's rights. That's why. That's the bottom line of it, in my opinion. I mean,
that
I don't
is
like
disgusting.
Either one to tell you the truth, Teddy or Bill. But they're both dogs as far as I'm concerned. But I still will vote for Bill Clinton because he votes in my favor.
Well, I wasn't aware that I don't know. It's been a while.
See, that's how a lot of people they see if they get her, they get him.
Yeah.
That's how they see it. That he's back in the White House.
Well, I haven't been in high school social studies class for a long time, but I was under the impression that Bill Clinton served 2 terms as president, and the United States Constitution means he can't serve another. So I thought Hillary was running, not Bill, but somehow, Joy Behar believes. So here
that's usually how it works.
Joy Behar, this is basically what she said. Teddy Kennedy killed a woman. Teddy Kennedy drove off that bridge at Chappaquiddick and left her there to die under the water in his car. He drug his own fat ass out. I don't know if he was fat then, but he drug his fat ass out, walked back to the cabin and got together with his Yaley buddies and strategized on how they were going to save him while she might have been still alive, suffocating, breathing the last breath of air in that air pocket. So Joy Behar says, Teddy Kennedy killed a woman, Bill Clinton's raped women, but I still vote for them both because they support women's rights. Are you freaking kidding me? And the audience, oh yeah, the ladies of the View, yeah, Are you freaking kidding me? If you're raping women, if you're killing women, you are not a supporter of women's rights, Joy Behar. I mean, my God, does that make sense to liberals when they say this crap?
Yeah, that's Brian. You are seeing liberal logic. That's what liberal logic, right there in front of you. That is the liberal logic. They don't care how big of a pig you are or what kind of a person you are. It's it's like with Cosby. Who cares if he's raped 45, 50 women? He's still funny. He's still talented. Yeah. I mean, who cares if O.J. killed Ron and Nicole? He's still a great football player. He's still a great American hero. I mean, you're dealing with people that have no moral compass. They're godless, moralist people. So a rapist or somebody like that who abuses women their whole life, that's no big deal as long as they're pro-choice. That's all that matters to her. Like Joy Behar is even going to get pregnant here.
Bill Clinton, I am unaware. I remember the Clinton years. What legislation did he sign into law that benefited women? He appointed a couple of lesbians for the attorney general. First one didn't make it, and then Janet Reno. I mean, he appointed a couple of lesbians there to the attorney generalship. But I don't recall him doing anything to benefit women. But Joy Behar, Ted Kennedy kills women. Bill Clinton rapes women. But I still vote for him because they support women's rights. That is so freaking insane. I can't believe it's like that old joke about Mussolini made the trains run on time. Yeah, he was a fascist, but the trains ran on time, so I support him. They couldn't vote. It's fascism. But I mean, that's the kind of thinking. And the liberal, Michael Savage says liberalism is a mental disorder, and that is certainly the case. It's much more than that. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't diagnose. But definitely, Joy Behar is mentally ill. Now listen to this one. This next one.
What I'd like to ask Joy Behar is, would you feel the same way if Bill Clinton raped your daughter?
Oh yeah, he supports women's rights.
Would you feel the same way? She probably would, knowing her.
Yeah, absolutely. Now
they just blindly follow these guys. Blindly follow them.
Now,
they don't care.
Now, Melissa Harris Perry. This is back on the Clintons too. Melissa Harris Perry,
another
black militant. Oh yeah, Melissa Harris Perry is the black militant racist that's on the weekends on MSNBC. And Melissa Harris Perry, I always got to tell this to people because she never does. She knows Obama personally. They were both on the faculty at the University of Chicago together, and she never mentions that. She never talks about it or anything, which I find very suspicious. So Melissa Harris Perry, she's talking about Donald Trump calling out Hillary about Bill Clinton's sex crimes. And listen to what Melissa Harris Perry says. This is some crazy stuff.
Trump warns that if Hillary Clinton continues to deploy Bill Clinton on the campaign trail, she should be prepared for attacks involving her husband's sexual history. And it's a history that includes Bill Clinton's first denied but finally admitted affair with Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton's alleged non-consensual sexual contact with several other women.
Okay, I'll play the rest in a minute. This part here I got to stop down. She says Bill Clinton's non-consensual sexual contact with women. That's called rape. When Melissa Harris Perry and MSNBC are talking about Bill Cosby raping this lesbian basketball chick from Tulane, they don't say Bill Cosby is being charged with unwanted sexual contact. They say he's a rapist. So what Melissa Harris Perry says, unwanted sexual contact with a woman is a rape. In fact, it's violent rape. So notice the language that but it's Bill Clinton, and he's a Democrat, and his wife is going to be the nominee. So let's not call it rape. It's non-consensual sexual contact.
What term do you think she would use if it was Trump?
Rape, just like Bill Cosby. Rape.
No doubt.
Yeah, okay, back to Melissa Harris Perry.
Includes Bill Clinton's first denied but finally admitted affair with Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton's alleged non-consensual sexual contact with several other women, as well as at least three women who have accused Bill Clinton of unwanted sexual encounters.
Okay, so three women that she knows of have accused Bill Clinton of unwanted sexual encounters. This is another liberal phrase. It's called rape. The definition of rape is, and it's a mild definition, but that could be a definition of rape, unwanted sexual contact. But since when do they give the definition of words? They don't want to say the word when it involves Bill Clinton. It's like the N word. I'll tell you the rest of this.
At least three women who have accused Bill Clinton of unwanted sexual encounters. But it's also a history that does not, at any point, as far as I can tell, include Hillary Clinton being involved in any of those accusations other than being married to the man who was accused, which raises the question of the extent to which Hillary Clinton's political future should be determined by Bill Clinton's scandal-plagued past. What do you think?
Well, I think she should. Now, here's the thing. I am not saying that if a guy goes out and rapes a woman that his wife has any responsibility in a rape. But Hillary Rodham Clinton knew about all of these incidents with her husband and continued to defend him and go out and character assassinate the victims of his, what did she say? The victims of his unwanted sexual contact. They're unwanted sexual contact victims, not rape victims, according to Melissa Harris Perry. So the fact that she covered up for him, made excuses for him, stood by him after sex crime, discredited the women publicly, makes her a party to it, who, in fact, in many ways allowed Bill Clinton to carry on with his unwanted sexual contact. So that makes her an accessory. So she is very much involved. And Kathy and I have been married for 19 years, and I'm of the opinion that wives know everything their husbands do, even if the husbands don't think they do. And for a woman to stand by a man who and give interviews and pretend to be dancing on beaches and holding hands and blah, 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 she's a party to it. So she is very much responsible. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Now, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, unindicted rapist Bill Clinton was asked by a female reporter about his past. Okay, we'll share that with you and talk about that coming up. You okay, Kathy? I don't hear any coughing.
I'm okay.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. And follow us on Periscope and Twitter, both at Brian Craig Show. And on Facebook, facebook.com/Brian Craig Show. And our website, briancraigshow.com. All right, we'll take a break and be right back after this. You're a podcast listener. How do I know that? Because you are listening to this podcast right now. I'm a podcast listener too, and when I find a cool and interesting podcast, I have to share it with you. And you must check out The Laugh Podcast, LAF. The Laugh Podcast is a weekly show hosted by Ryan Bull, aka Mr. Two Frames, and Richard Lusk, aka L Train. Together they bring their expertise and humor to discuss everything in the world of film. The Laugh Podcast is a discussion and debate on the merits of current films as well as the classics, including film reviews. And their weekend edition previews new releases and covers what's streaming this week on Amazon Prime and Netflix. You will be entertained, you will learn, and have a great time when you listen to The Laugh Podcast. You can find them on the show's website, thelaughpodcast.com, LAF, or on iTunes, Stitcher, or any of the podcast apps. So do what I do. Listen to The Laugh Podcast. Are you into photo sharing? Of course you are. Everyone is these days. I want to tell you about the newest, best, and coolest photo sharing app out there, the PicMe app, PICCMEE. With PicMe, you can share your pictures in tons of different categories. And get this, you can win free prizes for posting your pictures. That's right, free prizes like flat screen TVs, tablets, gift cards, smartphones, hoverboards, and many more. All you have to do is share your pictures and receive the most votes. That's it. You can even be randomly picked to win those free prizes. PicMe is partnered with rapper Fat Joe. Some PicMe winners will meet Fat Joe and his celebrity friends because they will be dropping off those incredible prizes personally. So what are you waiting for? Download PicMe right now, free, in the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, and start photo sharing and winning those prizes. PicMe, PICCMEE, in the Google Play and Apple App Store. If you're in business, you need a website. If you don't have a website, you're not in business. In fact, your website is the lifeblood of your business. Not only is it the first impression you make with potential clients, it's also how your current customers view you. MyLaunchKits.com understands this and offers web hosting services that are fast, secure, and managed by dedicated professionals. MyLaunchKits.com is your launchpad for success and handles everything you will need for your company's website. From web hosting and design, designing your e-commerce site, search engine optimization, web hosting for Linux, WordPress, and Windows, and much more. When you're a client of MyLaunchKits.com, you will have a free domain name, fast, reliable servers with a 99.9% uptime guarantee, 24/7 customer support with our experts who are available to assist you the moment you need them. And our services are priced to fit any company's budget. Boost your business potential with MyLaunchKits.com or call 800-264-3269.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast and streaming live video on Periscope at Brian Craig Show. You know, I'm of the opinion. Well, I read this article the other day, Kathy. It says 20% of the American population were not alive during the Lewinsky scandal. So that means, and I know a lot of them aren't old enough to vote because that includes babies, right. But there's an entire generation of adults in their 20s or 30s who were too young to be following that because back during the Clinton presidency, you know, when you would see Paula Jones would come on TV, Monica Lewinsky, if you had kids in the room, you would turn the station off the news because if any time the news came on and they were talking about the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, parents turned the station because what was being talked about was so sexually graphic, they didn't want their kids to hear. So there's a lot of adults in their 20s and 30s who really don't know. They think Bill Clinton was like a womanizer. He liked to screw around. They don't know that he was out there raping. Or what did Melissa Harris Perry say? He was out there giving women unwanted sexual contact. And they're learning the details of this for the very, very first time. And I think it's coming as a shock to a lot of people. And
Brian,
Billy,
all of this is because had the guts to say something.
That's right.
That's
Trump
the
did
whole
this.
catalyst to this whole discussion. Was he made a tweet saying?
That's
I mean,
right.
he is totally driving the news. He made a tweet that said Hillary basically was a warning shot. Hillary better watch out if she does not want to go there. If she's going to tell me I don't respect women, let's talk about her husband. It was like one or two sentences, and it's been like 2 weeks, and it's also brought all this news back onto the internet. I told you there was somebody that I'm Facebook friends with that's younger, and she wrote on her Facebook page, she said, I had no idea so many women accused Bill Clinton of rape, and she said, that makes me really sick. So even though Joy Behar might be voting for Clinton, believe me, there's a lot of women who will not, because of him, who will not vote for Hillary because of that, because they're like, you know what, I'm sick of the Clintons. I'm sick of this guy. He's a womanizing pig, and I don't want him in the office.
I don't think women today, even Democrat women, respect a woman who stands by a man who's screwing around on her. That's like the days of Mad Men. I kind of think those days.
I would think
you
never know. Well, Joy Behar respects it.
Yeah, Joy Behar's a pig. I mean, she's just a pig.
She's a pig.
To talk that way, she's a complete pig. So yesterday, unindicted rapist Bill Clinton. I didn't come up with that unindicted rapist. Another radio talk show was on CNN and said it. And I kind of picked. I lie. I think it's pretty good. It's accurate, isn't it? Unindicted rapist Bill Clinton. He was giving a speech yesterday for Hillary, and behind him there were these young girls in their 20s wearing "Ready for Hillary" T-shirts, and they were making these faces of disgust behind Bill Clinton's back as he was speaking. Did you see any of that, Kathy? It was unbelievable. And Bill Clinton couldn't see it because they were behind him on the stage. And it really, it was humiliating. Yeah,
Hillary
it was humiliating.
needs to. Hillary needs, I don't know why she thinks he's helping her, but he's not. He didn't help her beat Obama. And he is not, especially with all this stuff coming out, he is only disgusting. He's only making women disgusted. And it also makes Hillary look like she can't win without him. She needs to make him leave.
Yeah.
He's not an asset. He's not. He's a detriment to her.
Well, he's got the whole dialogue is about all this sex stuff, and someone in the chat said,
oblivious. He is so oblivious to it all.
Someone in the chat said they shouldn't have been wearing the Hillary shirts. I think that they wore the Hillary shirts to make sure they got on stage. I think it was a pretty cunning thing that they did. Now, so these women are making these. Look this up online. These pictures. It's unbelievable. This has never happened to Bill Clinton. See, Bill Clinton to these. What I've learned about people that are old, Bill Clinton's 69 years old, and when people get to be about 70, a lot of times they don't realize it. They still think they're cool and hip, and to people in their 30s and 40s, the Clintons to them are like Richard Nixon to me or you. I remember President Nixon. I don't remember when he was president. I was born in 71. Kathy was born in 70. But I remember when he would run around and give interviews and all that stuff. But he was like some old guy. To me, he didn't mean anything. He was, I had no connection to him. He wasn't. And Bill and Hillary Clinton, she doesn't realize she's an old hag, and he doesn't realize he's an old man. They still think they're cool and hip with the youngsters. The days of Bill Clinton having town hall meetings on MTV and asking if he wears boxers or briefs, those days are over. So Bill Clinton,
he looks really old too.
Oh yeah, he does, with his bony fingers, his skeleton.
Yeah, he looks really old. It's like somebody let the air out of his face or something. He's all skin and bones.
Yeah, absolutely. So he gets off the stage where these women were protesting behind him with the faces, and this local television reporter, who's some young girl in her 20s. She has no, to her, Bill Clinton's just some old man who was president when she was, in elementary school.
A dirty old man. He's a dirty old man. See, Brian, you have to understand, when all this stuff came out before, Bill Clinton was, younger. He was in his 50s. Now, he's like a dirty old man.
Yeah.
Now he's just a dirty old man.
So this young girl reporter at some local station goes up to President Clinton and asks him a question directly that I don't think he's ever been asked. He might have done some set-up interviews with a friend, like a Tom Bro, somebody that's a friend of his in the media that make it look like he was addressing things. But he has not been confronted like this. Listen to this. This young local reporter.
Mr. President, Donald Trump says your path is fair game. I've got to ask you, you keep coming up on the trail with him. Is it fair game?
The Republicans have to decide who they want to nominate. I'm trying to tell now the Democrats in the country why I think Hillary would be the best president.
Okay, so he's not answering the question. But when you have a local reporter, I don't think he's ever had a local reporter, especially a young. He probably went up to her because she's a young girl and she's pretty because she's everybody's pretty in their 20s who's on TV. And first thing she said, she basically what she said was, is your past sexual problems relevant? And he didn't, some of this on the radio today. Bill Clinton, he's going to be asked about this if he's going to run around. What Bill Clinton could say, if I were advising him, what I would tell him to say would be this. Say this, Mr. Clinton. Say, you know what? Those things happened in the past. They're between me and my wife, and Hillary and I have moved on from it. And in our marriage, we are together and we are strong. But he can't even, the issue is such a sensitive issue with him. He can't even pretend that, He
can't even, if he would have come out and said, look, I've done things in my past I'm not proud of. Some of the things are true. Some of the things are not true. I don't want to get into that. I want to move forward. But I will say that I do respect women, and I regret if I've done anything disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
I'm not like that anymore. Anything like I apologize if I've offended any. I mean, it obviously wouldn't mean much. But
and Hillary's
the Clintons,
Hillary is, Hillary's accepted.
The Clintons are big on avoiding questions. They both avoid questions they don't like. And that's going to catch up to them.
My favorite clip of the week was this woman who went to a town hall.
Yes.
Let me pull this clip up. Okay. Hillary is at a town hall in New Hampshire. And I got to explain this because I don't think most people know. If you listen to me on the radio, listen to the podcast, you've heard this a bunch of times. But I got to say, when Hillary Clinton or any Democrat have a town hall meeting, it is not a random town hall meeting. It is a play you are watching. The people called upon have been screened. They sometimes you find out when people call on Democrats, they work for them. Sometimes they're campaign workers. It comes out all the time. And town hall meetings are just plays. They are not real spontaneous events where real people are asking questions. They're questions from the campaign. And there's a woman in New Hampshire who wanted to ask Hillary Clinton a question, and I'll play this. Listen, this is I've not seen this on television yet, and this is the big story. It's only Tuesday, but this is the big story of the new year. So Hillary's at this town hall in New Hampshire. This woman tries to ask her a question.
I'm not going to take your question because other people have been yes, go right there. Okay, let me see. That right back there, this man right there, here we go, right there. You are very rude, and I'm not going to ever call on you. Thank you.
Okay, now I get to the rest of this. You're very rude. I'm never going to call on you. I didn't take you. You're ruder than Chris Stevens when he was trying to call me. And I wouldn't. And he was trying to interrupt my life, Chris Stevens, when he was begging for his. Hillary Clinton. What the woman had shouted out was a question about Juanita Broaddrick, who was a guest on this podcast. And let me tell you,
that's hilarious.
Let me tell you
I
something.
love to see Hillary fall apart. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Juanita Broaddrick a little bit, and I've talked to Juanita Broaddrick not just on the show here, but months and months ago I befriended her on Facebook, and I talked to her a little bit, and then I asked her after I talked to her for a while if I could interview her, and she says, I really don't want to relive that, And then one night, Kathy and I were walking the dogs, and I got a ding on my phone. That means I got a Facebook message, and I looked down, and it was Juanita Broaddrick, and she had sent me a message one night, and she said, Brian, I think it's time that I talk because people need to know and hear this again.
How old is Juanita Broaddrick?
I don't know how old she is, but I'll tell you this about Juanita Broaddrick. She is a nice lady. She is like she is like Aunt B from Mayberry. So anyway, this woman, she's asking about Juanita Broaddrick, and I'll give you a little bit of background on her, and then I'll play the rest. She is a sitting state senator in New Hampshire. Okay, that means thousands and thousands and thousands of people have know her story, and have elected her to the state Senate in New Hampshire. And New Hampshire, of course, is one of those early primary states. And the media, they tell us that what the opinion of everyone in New Hampshire is like better than everybody's opinion, because it's like Iowa and New Hampshire. And I have seen them find one person who doesn't like Trump in New Hampshire, and then the whole prediction of the show, well, New Hampshire doesn't look good for Trump. We found this one guy that doesn't like him. So here you have a state senator with the support of thousands of voters behind her asking about Juanita Brown. And Hillary screams at her like the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. You're not around. So listen to this. So a reporter, this very homosexual-sounding reporter, after the fake town hall, goes up to this woman and attempts to discredit her for challenging Hillary. And some things come out when the reporter's trying to discredit her, and it doesn't go good for the reporter because he ends up giving her credibility. And this is why you haven't seen this woman on television this week, because it hurt Hillary and help Trump listen. Let me go back to the yelling the hag part first.
Right there, and here we go, right there. You are very rude, and I'm not going to ever call on you. Thank you.
I'm not going to call on you. I'm not going to take Chris Stevens' call. I'm not going to call on you. You think you're Lady Gaga? You can't talk to me. Here's Andy.
How in the world she can say that Juanita Broaddrick and Kathleen Willey are lying when she has no idea who Juanita Broaddrick is, because she told me this summer that she doesn't know who she is and she doesn't want to know who she is. And how can she assess that they're lying, which is what she told someone last month?
What?
And she says
spell backwards.
She says that rape victims should be believed. I agree with her. That's true. They should be believed and you should assess what they're saying. She doesn't even want to assess it.
Why does this issue matter to you?
Because I'm a rape survivor myself.
Boom! Oh, so the reporter knows she's a Republican, so he's going out there to try to discredit her, but he doesn't know everything about her. Why does this issue bother you? Well, because I'm a rape victim. That's not what the reporter wanted to hear. It gets worse.
No, it's not.
Kathy, you're on the air. Okay, you there, Kath?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now listen to this.
I agreed with you. I said, no, it's not what he wants to hear.
Oh, no, he wasn't expecting that, was he? He got surprised to our
I was agreeing with you.
homosexual-sounding reporter. Oh, okay. Now, here's the rest. Listen.
Why does this issue matter to you?
Because I'm a rape survivor myself.
Nope.
Of course it would matter to me. And as a state representative, I have constituents who tell me that they're drug addicts because they sexually assaulted them. How would I not care about that?
You're a Republican, though. Coming here.
Now, keep on. She just said she's a rape victim. She's crying.
Wow.
And he says, yeah. Well, you're a Republican, aren't you? Which totally invalidates that she's a rape victim. You know what I mean? Well, you're a Republican. It's okay to rape Republicans because Republican women, should be raped because they hate women so much. Listen to what she says, though.
How would I not care about that?
You're a Republican, though. Coming here to question her, though. Coming here to question her in an event, putting her on the spot like that makes her look, not in a perfect light. Is that your goal? Was your goal to make her look silly?
I was a Democrat. I became a Republican because of this.
What?
Because of this stuff. What I saw happen in the Clinton years. This is the hypocrisy of the so-called women that fight for women. It's the height of hypocrisy.
Now, these reporters tell themselves and their friends they want to be the next Woodward and Bernstein, but they really don't. This guy's got several incredibly breaking national news stories for the election, right? A woman heckles Hillary. Hillary Clinton screams at her. 2, she's a rape victim. Hillary screamed at a rape victim. She's a sitting elected official in the early primary state of New Hampshire. And she used to be a Democrat but became a Republican because of Bill Clinton's sexual crimes. I mean, this is a great story, but this guy, all he wants to do is discredit her and slander her and not let her be.
You should try to get that woman on the show and interview her yourself.
Absolutely. She can tell her
story. I'd love to talk to her.
I was just going to the phones. There were people on hold, but I know I kept you on hold there for a while, but I wanted to finish that audio bite. All right. We're going to take a break. If you want to call back, please do. We will take your calls. We'll take a break and be back. You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You can follow us on Twitter at Brian Craig Show, at Brian Craig Show on Twitter, and Facebook, facebook.com/Brian Craig Show. And we are live video streaming on Periscope, which you can download Periscope and watch us at Brian Craig Show. And visit our website, BrianCraigShow.com. All right, we're going to take a break and be right back. This is Brian Craig. If you're like me, you are tired of the government being involved in every aspect of your life. Who is the government to tell you have to buy health insurance? And when you do, that you have to buy the health insurance they tell you to buy. I didn't like that. As an American, I don't want the government telling me what to do or what I have to buy, but I thought I had no choice. The Affordable Care Act is the law after all. I learned I do have a choice when I visited StopObamacareTaxNow.com. At StopObamacareTaxNow.com, I learned I don't have to pay hundreds of dollars a month in health insurance premiums for a policy with deductibles in the tens of thousands of dollars. Do what I did and go right now to StopObamacareTaxNow.com and learn how to say no to Obamacare without being fined by the government. StopObamacareTaxNow.com. Are you interested in real estate? Maybe you're a flipper, an agent, or buyer. Whatever your interest, you have to check out the YouTube channel, I Love Real Estate Stories. Andy McFarland, he's the host. Andy is a full-time wholesaler, flipper, and landlord out of Salt Lake City. His brother Jason McFarland is a real estate investor and documentary filmmaker. The two of them have put together this awesome YouTube channel for anyone looking to make money in real estate. Their goal is to provide inspiration and education to those interested in real estate. In fact, everyone, even if you're not involved in real estate, will love I Love Real Estate Stories on YouTube. It is incredibly entertaining. Andy, he's a real estate pro who will give you lots of great information. When you watch I Love Real Estate Stories, you will learn how to improve your real estate business, how to get more deals, and learn how to do more for your clients, which means more deals and more money for you. Simply visit youtube.com/users/I Love RE Stories. youtube.com/user/I Love RE Stories. Andy uploads new videos every week, so make sure you watch and subscribe. youtube.com/user/I Love RE Stories for the I Love Real Estate Stories YouTube channel.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
Oh, boy. All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Oh, you know, President Trump last night, Kathy, went to Massachusetts, which is arguably one of the most politically liberal places in America. I know California is liberal and New York is liberal, but Massachusetts is like where liberals are born and created, you know, like the Kennedys, got John Kerry running around and all these other jerks, you know. And last night, Donald Trump filled another arena. Had a crowd which was filled to the rafters. They exceeded maximum capacity at this arena he was in. 7,300 people in this arena. But get this. This was what was crazy. They had to wait to get in because of the Secret Service around President Trump. They had to wait hours and hours and hours and hours to get in. It was 19 degrees outside with winds of 10 miles per hour blowing. So these people waited with probably a wind chill of 0 for hours, 7,300 of them. It's amazing.
Incredible.
It is. It is. And, you know, Hillary Clinton had a rally yesterday, too, in Iowa, and 600 showed up.
I cannot wait until Trump wins the nomination, and it's her against him. It is going to be a thing of beauty. He is going to just absolutely humiliate her, which is what she deserves. She, you know, the chickens have come home to roost for the Clintons, and I think they are going to be very sorry that she is still in politics, because I think he is going to bring up all their dirty laundry and then some, maybe things we don't even know that he's going to come out and say. I think it's going to be a bloodbath because he does not hold back. And believe me, she has been thinking all along, well, if he gets the nomination, I can beat him. But I bet she is starting to rethink that and think, wow, if he gets the nomination, he's gonna bring up crap I don't want him bringing up because no other candidate would do it. Nobody else is going to talk about it, but he will.
You want to take some calls?
Sure.
Okay. Let's take this call, which is on 2 lines, so I'm suspect of it. We'll give it a go. Hello, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Okay. That's okay. I'll try one more. Try him again. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, yes. Here we go. There it goes. That's the left. Oh, here we go. This is Cully. Cully, you're on the line. Cully, you're in South Florida.
Actually,
what's up, Cully?
Yes, not far away from you.
That's right.
So,
what's up?
That Bill Clinton thing was really funny. Looking at those girls like half asleep, you gotta love it.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Like,
that takes a lot of guts.
They're so bored. It's like, Then you got the Hillary with the little heckler out there who's a rape victim. You gotta love that too. But see, the media didn't really show that much of it.
Of course not. Of course not. Because because it doesn't fit the narrative. You've got Hillary. Could you imagine what would have happened if Donald Trump had a heckler who was a rape victim? Oh, I'm sorry. A victim of unwanted sexual contact. And
we had to reword it. We had to reword it. Unwanted sexual contact. Unwanted cigar contact. A whole bunch of other things.
Yeah. When I remember there was a story going around when Bill Clinton was president, he never released his medical records. Donald Trump released his medical records with a letter from his doctor, and when Bill Clinton never released his medical records when he was president, and people always suspected he had a sexually transmitted disease, and there was a joke we used to talk about at the time that he had Peyronie's disease. And Peyronie's disease is when the penis bends to one side instead of being straight. And of course, Bill Clinton's penis.
I heard that.
Yeah, Bill Clinton's penis was rumored to bend to the left because he's
a lefty. Yeah, of course he's a lefty. He's a Democrat.
Yeah, I mean he was. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, 13 Hours is coming. Someone in the chat mentioned 13 Hours. The Benghazi movie's coming out. Oh yeah, that's going to be great for Hillary.
You talk about great timing. It's going to be really good because what Hillary is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, she everything she does is preempted. Everybody she calls on, even when that one rape victim wanted to make a question, she kept pointing at this one person.
Yeah.
Everything is so staged with her that Hillary is going to get hammered by Trump. And that I know for a fact. And the media knows that, too. This is why I heard like Karl Rove today.
Well, think about it, Cully. He, right now,
you're coming in really
Trump...
good, Kathy.
Yeah, what?
You came in, no, your volume came in great. Okay.
Oh, good. My voice is horrible. Think about it. Trump's energy is all focused on attacking different people, like maybe 5 or 6 right now. When he wins the nomination and when she wins the nomination, it's all about her. She is the only one he is going to come after. And he's going to come after. It's going to be every week. There's going to be something he's going to say. He's going to tweet. It is going to completely drive the news cycle. And by the time it's time for the election, I think he's just going to annihilate her. I mean, unless she successfully turns it around and makes it out like she's this poor female victim. If he's smart about it, he is going to just humiliate her, and he is going to bring up all of her past, everything she's ever done. And if anybody ever was on the fence about her, they're going to be like, you know what, I am so sick of this woman and her husband. This is ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to see because I'm really tired of the Clintons getting away with their crap, and I think they need to be held accountable for their behavior over the last 20 years, and I think this might be the time when it's going to happen. It'll be fun, that's for sure.
For one thing you know about them, there's so much to know about them, but these people are so young and stupid that they don't understand what they did.
Yeah.
How they?
Well, they're going to. He'll make them understand.
There's one thing about Trump. Like I say, I agree with what you said. One-on-one, he's going to eat her up like a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
He's going to pound
He's not going to hold back. He's not going to hold back.
He's not going to be like the one guy just. I think it was one of the Blasio.
Great question. One thing Trump, I would love to hear Trump say is, why is it that Ben Affleck and Lady Gaga have your cell phone number, but Chris Stevens didn't?
Well, now she can ignore him, but if he gets the nomination and it's one-on-one, she cannot ignore him. She is going to have to address every single thing he brings up. She's going to have to.
Hey, Cully, did you see Obama's fake crying during his gun
grab
speech
when that
today?
special? Yeah. I
mean,
loved it.
My God.
I missed that one.
He had to have live onion juice there to wipe his tears in his eyes to make the tears come out. It's like, oh my God.
He doesn't care about anybody.
I could not. I tried to watch it. I went 5 minutes and I go, that's it. I'm done. I'll just watch the clips. Because I just can't handle the guy.
If Black Lives Matter, if they really cared about saving black lives, wouldn't they become pro-life and try to stop all the black babies from being aborted? More blacks. Think about it. More blacks are lynched in the womb each and every day through abortion than will be killed in the next several years by cops and gun violence. I mean, that's a fact. And Obama, with his executive orders on gun control, taking guns away from law-abiding citizens isn't saving really lives. He doesn't do anything. If Obama said, I'm going to rid criminals of guns and started doing things that would take guns out of the hands of criminals, conservatives would support that. But nothing they do ever takes guns away from these gangbangers in Chicago.
No, they take it away from law-abiding citizens.
You got all these,
ridiculous.
You got all these cities like Detroit, you got Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they're killing each other left and right, and they got the strongest gun laws. And whatever Obama's doing right now is not going to work. But see, right now, the Democrats, they're basically the Socialist Communist Party. And their goal is to remove guns from the citizens. And that's like what you call the last straw for Obama in this last year is the goal, with Saul Alinsky and the Karl Marx stuff, is to remove the guns from the citizens.
Well, the good thing is Trump can reverse everything he does.
You talk about Saul Alinsky. I had never heard of Saul Alinsky before Obama in 2008. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe everybody else did. I don't know. Did you, Cully?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I never heard of him.
No, I did.
Heard of him before? I never heard of him before.
Well, actually, Hillary Clinton wrote a thesis on him.
Yeah. Well, what surprised me so much about Saul Alinsky was this: is when Dinesh D'Souza had his second movie, America, out, and I did not realize that when she was in high school and in college, that she was close and personal friends with Saul Alinsky, Hillary Clinton, and Saul Alinsky wanted her to come and work for her when she got out of college. And Hillary Clinton's also from Chicago. Her family's from Chicago, not Arkansas. That's where Bill's from. She moved to Arkansas for Bill. And there is this cell. There's this radical cell that Obama, Bill Ayers, Valerie Jarrett, Hillary Clinton are a part of. And it's really crazy.
The Attorney General, I forget her name.
Which one, Rebecca Lynch or
Lynch? Yeah, she's also
Lynch.
Yeah, she's also.
It's not Rebecca Lynch. Rebecca Lynch was the POW that was rescued in Iraq. What's Lynch's first? I forgot her name. The Attorney General. What kind of name is Lynch? Is Lynch for a black woman? Did she change her name to represent the lynchings in the South? I don't know. It seems like an odd name for a black woman to have. Loretta Lynch, yeah. I mean, that's just an odd name for a black person to have. Lynch? It doesn't seem that. Wouldn't you change? Anyway, listen, we got to take a break. Cully, thanks for calling.
Hey, nice talking. Love your
Bye,
show.
Cully.
Keep it up. Kathy,
Great.
I hope you
All right.
guys you both are feeling good. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Good. All right, that was Cully. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. There's more to share. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Do you need a restful night's sleep? I do, and I have found the perfect way to get that restful night's sleep that I need each and every night with the new app from Nighty Night Labs called Deep Sleep Soundscapes. The Deep Sleep Soundscapes app is designed for those of us who need help getting to sleep. Deep Sleep Soundscapes features binaural beats that will help your mind drift gently off to sleep and help you stay asleep. The sounds include Celtic Forest Lullaby, Angel's Lullaby, Brahms Lullaby, Gentle Ocean Waves, Healing Rain, Restful Ocean Sounds, Rain for Slumber, and many more. Find the Deep Sleep Soundscapes app on iTunes, Amazon, and the Google Play Store. Download the Deep Sleep Soundscapes app today and get a restful night's sleep tonight. Buying a greeting card from the local store really isn't that special. You want to send a card that's personal and shows how much you really care. I want to tell you about Creative Cards by Quokka. Creative Cards by Quokka carry handcrafted, unique greeting cards that will make any occasion extra special, whether it's a birthday, a Christmas card, congratulations, or just telling someone to get well soon. Creative Cards by Quokka will get your message across with a personal touch. They will even make a custom card just for you. Find their website by going to Google and searching for Creative Cards by Quokka, Quokka. Take a look at their great selection of beautiful handmade cards. You will be impressed. For your next greeting card, give one of the unique handmade cards from Creative Cards by Quokka. Just Google Creative Cards by Quokka, Quokka. Do you want a professional logo designed for your business or website? Then check out Fiverr.com/MATANELHARUSH. There you will find a professional logo designer who will design and create a top quality logo for your company, website, YouTube channel, your product, or anything you need a logo for. And it will be a professional logo that will set you apart from the rest. Go right now to Fiverr.com/MATANELHARUSH. Fiverr.com/MATANELHARUSH. When you go there, take a look at the examples of their work. You will be impressed. Fiverr.com/MATANELHARUSH.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Oh, and I'm about out of voice. Oh, my gosh. This has been, I tell you, being sick, it's actually a great weight loss thing. I've lost about 10 pounds, which is crazy. And I've caught up on TV. Since I've been sleeping on the couch and I was sick all New Year's, and I watched every episode on demand of this new show, Limitless. And I see the commercials constantly for Limitless, and I never watched them because I really didn't care for the Bradley Cooper movie. But this show, I watched every episode. There's 13 of them, 12 or 13. They are really good. I got to tell you, they are really, really good. So you got to check out Limitless. And then I kind of ran out of things to watch on demand. So then I started watching the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation, and it's not bad. Once you get to like the third episode, and my recollection was the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation was awful, and I'm really into it. Every night I'm watching Star Trek now. It's crazy. Back to my roots, It's amazing. I used to, when, you with me, Kath? I guess not. She put the phone down. I guess I'm talking about Star Trek. But I used to videotape Star Trek The Next Generation when it was on television, and I could get 2 episodes on a tape, and because each episode's 43 minutes, I could get 2 on a 2-hour tape, but I'd have to do it live. And what I would do is I'd pause the VCR when the commercials came on, and I was really good at it. I got to the point where I could pause and then unpause when it came out of commercial, and it would be a perfect fade. And I spent so much freaking time doing that. And I had one of these VCRs. It had a great picture. It was some of you might have had it. It had 4 or 5 heads on it. So it was supposed to be the best picture, you know. And then I bought bootleg the entire series on DVD. I bought it on eBay, the Chinese version of Star Trek The Next Generation on DVD, every episode, all 7 seasons. Never watched them once. Sit in the closet for years. And then I used to buy all the original series on DVD. There were 2 episodes. I mean, I spent so much money on DVDs and so much. And now with Netflix, I got every episode of Star Trek, every movie. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I never dreamed.
Well, for $9 a month, not really free, $9 a month.
Yeah, $9 a month. And I got to tell you, we also have Hulu. I've been trying to get Kathy to cancel cable because got Hulu, got Netflix. That's all I need. On Hulu, we paid an extra $2 a month or $3 a month, and it's commercial free, which is really worth it. So, but I got to. It's I go back to these old episodes of Star Trek, and I have a whole new appreciation of them because I watch them from the perspective of an adult. And they're really the pilot of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And the first 2 regular episodes are not good, but after you get past that, they're really good. I'm like all into it. But the thing is, not so much with the original Star Trek, but on Star Trek: The Next Generation, they had a lot of aliens like Worf, and the special effects makeup and the sets themselves were not built to hold up under high definition television because it didn't exist then. And you can tell that, like, the Enterprise is made of plywood. And when they have aliens, even sometimes Michael Dorn Worf, when they have aliens with the headpieces on their foreheads, you can see the putty and the glue. You know? And Data, this is crazy, because none of this was made for high def, so they didn't have to be perfect. So Data, you can actually see that he's got makeup on, because a lot of times he doesn't have makeup on everywhere, around his eyes, on his hands, his white skin. But you never noticed it before because you didn't have high-definition television. And on high-definition television, none of these things hold up. It's really weird, actually, sometimes to watch it. I'm like, I can't believe, because back then, without high definition, you never noticed it, And the makeup putty, it's kind of funny to watch. You know what I mean? It's high definition television. But that next level up from high def, you and I went to Best Buy a few weeks back, and our television is like, it might as well have rabbit ears on it from the 60s compared to these new TVs that are out.
I know, they're amazing.
But these new TVs, the picture's too good. It's just too good. I mean, it's
pretty good.
It. Like I saw they had the Avengers on. And Cully's mad. We're ending Cully. Don't worry. Cully's mad. We're talking about things, not politics. No, whatever. But
I think Cully's obsessed.
I'm watching the Avengers at Best Buy, and I can see the razor burns on Captain America. The pictures are too good. I must say they're too good. But I wanted to play this one clip of George Lucas. Okay, I'm not going to play the one I played on the last show when he was, attacking. He's really upset at Disney for having a Star Wars movie that people like. But this is in the same interview with Charlie Rose, and he's talking about how great it was during the days of the Soviet Union for filmmakers. Listen to this, George Lucas.
One of the reasons I retired is so I can make movies that aren't popular. Because in the world we live in the system we've created for ourselves in terms of it's a big industry, you cannot lose money. So the point is that you're forced to make a particular kind of movie. And I used to say this all the time when people, back when Russia was the Union of Soviet Social Republics, and they'd say, "Oh, but aren't you so glad that you're in America?" I said, "Well, I know a lot of Russian filmmakers. They have a lot more freedom than I have. All they have to do is be careful about criticizing the government. Otherwise, they can do anything they want."
And so what do you have?
I mean, that's crazy. Oh, wait, he didn't finish. Listen. So what do you have, Charlie Rose says?
To do. You have to adhere to a very narrow line of commercialism.
Okay, so I love this guy who just sold his company for $4.5 billion, give this interview and pretend to be so disgusted by capitalism. But
I know, it's hilarious.
He was... when he sold his company for $4.5 billion to Disney, he was already a billionaire. He was worth $1 billion or between $1 and $2 billion. So then he added $4.5 billion to his billionaire fortune already.
He needed more.
And then
It's not enough.
Yeah. And then he sits around with Charlie Rose and pretends to be disgusted by capitalism and
Brian,
commercialism.
this is the hypocrisy of the left.
Me?
You're seeing it right here in front of your face with George Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy, he pretends to be disgusted by commercial. You have to be commercial. Well, what's all those merchandising rights that he made all his money on about was commercialism. Liberals don't see themselves at all. They really don't understand what they are. And so far as Lucas said, you have to make money. He's worth $5 to $6 billion. He could make as many movies as he wants to make for the rest of his life and finance them himself and just watch them in his living room with his Obama-loving wife. He doesn't have to make $1 on it. What a hypocrite. On that, I'm going to say goodbye. Kathy's going to say goodbye. You've been listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name's Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Follow us on Twitter and Periscope at Brian Craig Show. And on Facebook, facebook.com/Brian Craig Show. Visit our website, briancraigshow.com, and all the places that carry this podcast are listed there. You can listen to all of our past episodes on the TuneIn Radio app, Stitcher Radio, and, of course, iTunes. When you go to those apps, just search for The Brian Craig Show. All right, we'll be back later this week with another show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Way early this morning, Brad Higdon shared a major spoiler alert from everyone's favorite hit show, sad emojis to express his feelings about the plot twist, and a playlist he made to drown out his sorrows? Dude, oversharing alert. Brad, Geico has something worth sharing with those who haven't befriended you. Like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance at Geico.com. So stop moping about the post-apocalyptic world and start saving in the real world. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.